Fresh off taking 2 of 3 from the Pirates, including beating Paul Skeens. The roof is open. Your eyes will not deceive you when you see the bright sunshine on the field as the Marlins come to town for 3 to complete this 6-game interleague window. Trey Savage on the hill, and Toronto fans excited about the Born Ready bobblehead, as are Dan Schulman and Joe Siddall. Ready to call this one, Dan?
Brad, thank you very much. What the Marlins have brought to town as well, in addition to just being a don't sleep on them kind of team. They are pesky and they're pests, and they can try to get on base and run around like crazy. And what they also have is not 1, not 2, but 3 Canadians on the roster.
A homecoming of sorts for 3 Canadians on this Marlins roster. I'm sure there'll be lots of friends and family in town for these few days. And Owen Casey debuted last year in the major leagues in a Cubs uniform in this building in Rogers Center here in Toronto. He had a slow start to his season. He's been swinging a hot bat the last couple of weeks, and he is second with his team in RBIs behind this guy, Liam Hicks, and he has really turned it around, really tapping into a little bit of power. He had a 2-home-run game on the weekend against the Mets, and now is among league leaders in RBIs. So he's having a very productive season, playing a little first base, catching a little as well. Former Blue Jay Otto Lopez has really turned into a very good big league hitter. He has found a home in South Florida with the Marlins as their everyday shortstop. He is spraying balls all around the field. He's hitting a variety of different pitches. He will be a challenge for Mr. Yasavage here tonight.
They are all in the lineup tonight. Trey Yasavage coming off that brilliant outing at Yankee Stadium 5 days ago. 6 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts. And for the first time this season, Brad, as you mentioned, the roof is open here at the Rogers Center. Nothing gets people's spirits up like that. It is a beautiful evening for a ball game.
Indeed it is, and despite the bobblehead for Vladdy, he is not in the lineup. Hazel will give us details, so will Dan and Joe as we go through. Sit back and enjoy. First pitch after this with the roof open on a Monday night. It's the Marlins and the Blue Jays.
They're ready to go here with the roof open for the first time this season. The Marlins, fresh off a sweep of the New York Mets, 25-29, just a half game behind the Blue Jays. When you compare the records of the two teams, Jansen Junk, a right-hander on the mound for the Marlins, Trey Savage for the Blue Jays. Miami feeling pretty good about themselves. On the right, their leadoff hitter, Xavier Edwards, and on the left, Toronto's Liam Hicks, as Joe mentioned, 3rd in the major leagues in RBIs right now. These Canadians are a big part of the Miami lineup. We just told you about Hicks. Otto Lopez has the highest batting average in the major leagues right now. Owen Casey has all kinds of power, hit a big home run for Canada in the WBC. And then they've got guys like Marcy and Sanoa, Edwards as well. The Marlins want chaos. They just want to fight off pitches, put it in play, get on base, and run as much as they can.
And if Trey Savage can prevent that like he did in his last start against the Yankees, that ERA just over 1 right now in his 5 starts. He went 6 scoreless innings in the Bronx against the Yankees. He retired 18 of the 20 batters he faced, just allowed 2 hits. 3 of his outings now have been scoreless out of the 5 starts that he has made, and he came out hot that night in New York with an electric fastball. Defensively behind you, Savage is Pinongo. Nathan Lucas, welcome back off the injured list. He's in center field. Varsho will get the day off. Sanchez in right. Okamoto and Jimenez on the left side. Clement and Lenin Sosa on the right side. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. day-to-day with that elbow injury. Brendan Valenzuela behind the dish for Savage again tonight.
And if you're wondering if this is the first time Trey Savage has pitched with the roof open here, the answer is no. It was open during the division series last year in October against the Yankees, and Savage pitched in Game 2, so this is not a new experience for him, but he will be a new experience for the Miami Marlins. Xavier Edwards, the second baseman, is in the box, and we are underway here at Rogers Center tonight. Edwards hitting .313, and he can run. He's got 3 triples. He's got 6 steals. A good guy to keep off the bases if you can. Check swing, tapper foul, 1-1. We saw in the last start the fastball command for Savage was great. The velocity was great. The splitter was the splitter, and the slider was really good. Lined into right field, though. This is going to get down. Sanchez cuts it off, but his momentum carrying him towards the foul line, and that will allow Edwards to reach second.
Now this is a splitter up in the zone, and he's been having issues with that pitch. Edwards drills that into right field, and then once he hits it, you know you better get on it. Sanchez has to range far to his left, but after he receives the baseball, breaking down his steps, he takes a lot of extra steps. I'm not sure if he didn't think he was going for two or not, but in there safely.
So a leadoff double, and here is Toronto's Liam Hicks, and you could definitely hear some friends, family, old teammates, coaches, we don't know who, but he told us before the game he's got a lot of people here, and they were definitely making noise for him when his name was announced. He was a Rule 5 pick by the Marlins prior to last year. Those look like some Liam Hicks guys up there. He came from the Tigers organization, came from Double-A, and was a Rule 5 pick. So skipped Triple-A entirely, spent all of last year with the Marlins, and told us before the game, just having a year under his belt, he feels a lot more settled, comfortable, confident. His bat speed is up, his power is up, and when he's not catching, he's usually either DHing or playing first for Clayton McCullough, and he's at first base tonight. Ground ball to the right side. Over to get it is Clement. Hicks retired as Edwards comes to third.
Well, it's a productive out for Liam Hicks. He is looking to pull the baseball. That's the big difference he has made in his swing. It looks like he's trying to pull the baseball in the air, do more damage. He's done that, but the ground out to second base still moves his runner over.
That's why he's getting some high fives. Infield coming in for the Blue Jays. Runner at third, one out. And here is Canadian number 2, Otto Lopez, born in the Dominican Republic, but spent a number of years when he was younger in Montreal, and plays for Canada in the WBC. And a former Blue Jay, actually got 10 at-bats with the Blue Jays a few years back. Was DFA'd prior to the 2024 season by the Blue Jays. As he lifts a fly ball to left field, it is still going, but it'll be caught by Piñango just shy of the wall, but he easily coming in to score on the sac fly is Edwards. Lopez giving the Marlins a 1-0 lead.
Well, that splitter not behaving real well early here for Trey. The double was on a splitter up in the zone, and this sacrifice fly was the splitter up in the zone, and Otto Lopez just missed making this a 2-0 ball game.
So 1-0, 2 outs, and the base is empty. And here is Kyle Stowers, the DH for Miami. Shows bunt, and Savage buzzes the tower with a fastball up and in. Is it harder to get away from a pitch when you've squared the bunt?
When you're squared and you're covering the plate like that, and that ball's right at you, all you can do is react, and he just got out of the way in time.
Stowers, a former Baltimore Oriole, came over in a deal for Trevor Rogers a couple of years ago, and an all-star for the Marlins last year. Had a big year last year, as you can see, not having the same kind of success so far this year. A better splitter there, and it's 1-1. And 0 for 11 in that 3-game series against the Mets. Another splitter swung on and missed, 1-2. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. not in the lineup, may be available later, but officially John Schneider says day-to-day after getting hit on the right elbow. Savage back to the splitter again to get Stowers, but the Marlins get a run here in the first. Back for the bottom of the first, the Blue Jays coming up trailing 1-0, and look at the lineup, which will begin with George Springer again, hitting leadoff in the DH spot. And a welcome back to Nathan Lucas, who has been out a month, back after that hamstring injury. A little bit further down in the lineup, Ernie Clement has been hot on a 7-game hitting streak, hitting .391. No Vladdy, as we mentioned, and Dalton Varsho also getting a day. So Yohendrick Pinyango, with all of that going on, is hitting in the 3 spot tonight. They will face right-hander Jansen Junk.
Junk is 30 years old. He's in his 6th big league season. That ERA has crept up over 5 because his last 2 starts have been really tough. Gave up 8 runs against Atlanta. He had given up 7 runs in his previous start against Tampa Bay. And he's really dominated right-handed batters. So we'll see how these Blue Jays righties handle him. They've hit just 177 against him. And remember yesterday, Mitch Keller from the Pirates right up on that list too. Really controlling the right-hand side hitters.
Springer ready and takes the first one a little bit inside. Ball 1. 206, 5 home runs. Had a couple of really good games against the Pirates in the first 2 games of the series. 0 for 4 with a walk yesterday. Fastball away from him, and he fouls it off out of play right side. Not an overpowering fastball. 93, 94. A lot of different pitches, 6 really, but kind of 5 to each side. He doesn't throw everything to everybody. You talked about how well he's done against right-handed batters. The Blue Jays have 4 right-handed batters, 5 lefties in there tonight, including the switch hitter Valenzuela. This is hit towards the right field corner. Casey giving chase, and he'll make the catch. 1 down.
Defensively for Clayton McCullough's Marlins here tonight at the Rogers Center. Left field, Esteuri Ruiz gets the start in left field. Jacob Marcy in center. And the Canadian, the local boy, Owen Casey, will man right field. On the infield, Javier Sanoa at third base. And Otto Lopez, who you know very well as a Canadian at short. Xavier Edwards at second. Liam Hicks over at first tonight. And behind the plate, Joe Mack, one of their top prospects that's been up for about a month.
So here's Nathan Lucas, who was about as hot as anybody when unfortunately he suffered a hamstring injury on April 24th. He had been 11 for his last 21 when he had to go on the IL. And as is often the case, things take a little bit longer until a guy can get healthy and get back. So Lucas missed a month. There you can see the numbers on his rehab stint in Dunedin. And John Schneider putting him back in the 2 spot, at least for tonight. The counter move was Davis Schneider has been optioned to AAA Buffalo. And it may be a good chance, Joe, for Schneider to go down there and reset. He was sent down last year, came back and played very well after he came back. An opportunity for him to get some regular at-bats and try to find it again.
Yeah, well, John Schneider mentioned that today. He is part of this team. He's just got to go figure it out a little bit. And once he does, hopefully he can come back and help out. We know what he does well. He controls the strike zone, but he's got that power bat from the right side, and we know that he can do it. It's just been a real struggle for Davis, and you know, as a player, sometimes it might be a little bit of a relief that he can go down there and try to sort things out.
So now they're in a situation where they've got 4 left-hand hitting outfielders. Pinyango stays, Lucas, Varsho, Sanchez. There isn't room for all of them. So Varsho is getting the day off, and this is what the Blue Jays are going to run into. Now, if Springer gets a day, one of them can DH. We won't even have the when Addison Barger comes back conversation yet. We can kick that down the road a little bit. But assuming the other regulars are in there, one of those left-hand hitting outfielders will have to sit every day, come off the bench. Lucas loops it to shallow right center, and it's down for a base hit. Edwards got all twisted around and was never able to make a play on the ball.
Well, this is what Nathan Lucas does. He gives you a tough at-bat, and this is a fastball in on his ends. You see the 4-seam grip, and it jams him, but Edwards was bouncing all around. He went left, he went right, and I think if you turn right away in the right direction and go out, he might have a shot at that ball, but Lucas is aboard here in the first.
And that'll bring up tonight's number 3 hitter, Yohendrick Pinyango, hitting .313. John Schneider over the last few days, asked about it a lot, said, you know, things have changed from the last time when Barger came off the DL and Pinyango was sent down. He's just hitting too well. He has to stay, whether they lead him off, hit him third, hit him fourth, wherever they hit him. Pops this one up back of third. Sanoha into foul territory to make the grab, and that's the second out. 2 down for Junk now with a runner at first, and in the cleanup spot tonight, again with this slightly different looking lineup, Kazuma Okamoto, who of course has hit there before, was down in the 6th spot yesterday when he went 1 for 4 with a double, hit it off the right field wall. Okamoto's best success, as you know, Joe, has come off 4-seam fastballs this year. His biggest problem has been breaking balls, and Junk throws a lot of breaking balls.
He's got a few different ones. He's got the slider, the sweeper. He's also got a curveball that he'll throw occasionally. And I'm sure he will see, Oka will see a steady diet of them.
Lucas draws a throw. Lucas not a big base stealer anyways, every now and again, and he is coming off a hamstring injury. Don't know if he is, fully 100% in terms of trying to steal or running the bases. There you can see the difference between the 4-seamer and the breaking balls for Okamoto. Foul back, 1-1. That was the sweeper. If you see the "Lest We Forget" on the jerseys of both the Marlins and the Blue Jays, it is Memorial Day in the United States today. So all teams across MLB wearing that patch. Got a fastball that got a good piece of the plate, but fouled it straight back, and it's 1-2.
That's the fastball you want to get to if you're Okamoto, just missing it up in the top of the strike zone a little bit, but can't quite get there. Because when you take a swing like that, I'm pretty sure he just bought himself a breaking ball now.
Another fastball, and again fouls it off.
The element of surprise.
The Marlins, in their sweep of the Mets over the weekend, allowed only 2 runs total in the 3 games. Some of that is some very good Miami pitching. Some of that is the Mets are a disaster right now on a number of levels. Really struggling offensively. Breaking ball down and away, 2-2.
Well, this Marlins team can certainly pitch. Their starters have been going through it a little bit lately. The bullpen is very good, but they don't hit for tons of power, but they do everything else. Yeah. They run, they get their base hits. They're going to cause havoc and try to scratch and claw runs any way they can.
And Junk gets Okamoto to reach for a breaking ball away, and it strikes him out to win the inning.
Felix, we'll see you now.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. Trey Savage looking to build off of his best start this season. He retired 18 of 20 Yankees batters he faced last time out. Now, he was in total control of how he navigated that dangerous lineup. And while the velocity did tick up and the splitter was on point, it was his slider that was the real game changer for him. And that slider was the best that it's ever been this season. In fact, in his first 4 starts, he used that pitch just 16% of the time. On Wednesday, it was close to 30, and he got results. Savage generated 7 outs overall thanks to that slider. John Schneider thought Savage and Valenzuela did a nice job of recognizing just how good the slider was. Savage, Dan, said the slider is right where he wants it to be, loves the shape on it and how he's throwing it for strikes. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. He fires in a fastball for a strike to Jacob Marcy. In your mind, on the heels of Hazel's report, how does a good slider help Savage?
Well, I think it helps him because he's got 3 good pitches. But if you go back 2 starts ago in Detroit, he was not very successful with his splitter. He said he was spraying his fastball a little bit, but the splitter, he was really spiking into the ground. Fast forward to the game in New York, clearly he tried to make an adjustment, but it still wasn't a great pitch, the splitter. What do you do when you have another really good weapon? You throw it more, and I think that's what he did. You didn't have your best splitter, so they went to the slider. It's really good. Throw it more, so he even threw it to the left-handed batters. Right. That's adjusting on the fly. It's a great job by his catcher as well, navigating that, and I mean, he's got 3 great pitches.
And he seems to have fine-tuned that splitter a little bit from the first couple he threw tonight. He gets another strikeout with it as he gets Jacob Marcy.
It's looked like a different pitch. The ones he threw to Stowers to strike him out to end the first, and then how about that right there?
One down. Here's Javier Sanoja, the third baseman, hitting .262. If anybody remembers watching the series between these two teams last year down in Miami, it was in August. This guy was a real nuisance for the Blue Jays. He went 6 for 12 with a home run, and whenever he wasn't homering, he was running all over the place on the bases. He is a good player, and he kind of personifies the style of baseball the Marlins want to play.
Just like that, you said it. They're going to try to get on base and cause havoc. It reminds you a little bit of the Tampa Bay Rays, the way they do that as well. But Clayton McCullough knows they have to try to create runs many different ways.
That'll miss low. A ball and 2 strikes. Utility Gold Glove winner a year ago. He has made starts in 8 different positions in his big league career. Somehow got a piece of that. Boy, if you're Savage, that was a slider. I mean, that almost bounced and he got a piece of it.
He's a tough one to strike out. He will put the ball in play.
He puts it in play off the glove of Savage, who scoops it over to first. And cracking a smile, never could find it and just swatted it with his glove for the out.
You can't make this stuff up. If you can't squeeze it, just throw it over there with anything. Attaboy, Trey.
And the boys are laughing.
Kevin can relate to that.
Yeah. Is this 1-1-1-3 on the putout?
Glove, hat, glove.
That's a new one. He's stuck with it. 2 down, and here's Owen Casey. Yeah. You mean you didn't mean to do that, Trey?
Don't put that on a PFP highlight reel.
Casey, the native of Burlington, Ontario, and a big part of Canada's WBC team. Hit a home run in their first game against Columbia. Hit very well in the series. As Joe mentioned, made his major league debut here as a Cub last year. Was traded to the Marlins in the offseason for pitcher Edward Cabrera. Big power. Also, though, a lot of swing and miss in his game, at least at this early stage of his big league career. Played for the Burlington Bulls and then the Fieldhouse Pirates, he told me, back in his teenage years. Swing and a miss, and Savage gets him. Second strikeout of the inning, third of the night. Trey Savage is locking it in here against the Marlins.
Beauty of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
The earlier you join Jace Care's 50 Seasons jackpot, the more chances you have to win. Daily prizes include once-in-a-lifetime trips and exclusive merchandise from every Blue Jays era. And the June 14th grand prize is projected to exceed $2.5 million. Get your tickets now from participating provinces at BlueJays.com/5050. 1-0 Marlins, bottom of the second, and the first batter this inning for the Blue Jays, right fielder Jesus Sanchez. Grounds one past the mound for Edwards out at second, and quickly one out. Here, bottom 2. So we talked about the 4 outfielders: Varsho, Sanchez, Lucas, Peñango. Almost all the time, Varsho's going to be out there, obviously, unless he's getting a day. So how do you see the rotation working with Sanchez and Pinango and Lucas?
You've got everyone that is worthy of playing time right now, so someone is going to have to sit each day as long as George is DHing. I thought, for example, with Nathan Lucas back today, I thought he might sit the first one just because all of the other 3 outfielders are playing well and swinging the bat well. But as this 17 games in a row, John Schneider alluded to the fact that he wanted Dalton Varsho to get a day. That fits. Maybe tomorrow it's somebody else that gets a day. Maybe it is Nathan Lucas. So it's a different problem when they're all swinging it. Right, Varsho really heated up. Sanchez really heated up, and we love what we've seen from Pinango.
Right. You can understand why they want all of these bats on the roster, but it does present them with a bit of a challenge in terms of getting guys into the lineup. Now, whoever's out could come in for defense, could pinch run, could pinch hit, that sort of thing. And, you know, everybody's been at this a long time. They all understand the situation.
Lucas is the one when he's on the bench. Obviously, he can come in for defense late. We know Miles Straw does that very well. When they have the lead, that's what they like to do, is secure everything defensively.
Two and 2 on Clement. Getting .295 on the season, still leading the majors in doubles with 17. Bouncer to short. 2-hopper for Otto Lopez, who makes the play.
Jansen Junk has brought the sinker back in a little bit. Did that in his last start. And as we said, he's been going through it, but he has had some success against right-handed batters. And I think that's something that you have to do, is make sure when you have the breaking balls that you have, you still have to pitch inside enough to make those hitters aware in there. And that's what he got Ernie to bounce to short.
Hitting 7th tonight for the Blue Jays, Andres Jimenez. Down and away for ball 1. That's the curveball there. You can see more of the 12-6 action on the curveball as opposed to the sweeper and the slider. Jimenez has been struggling recently, hitting .143 in his last 10 games, and it even goes back a week or so beyond that. Has done a nice job with runners in scoring position, driving in runs, but overall batting average, slug, OPS, etc., moving in the wrong direction the last few weeks. Savage, a great second inning, 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts. As Junk steps off, and he wants to have a conversation with Joe Mack. Mack may be the catcher of the future. Now again, Liam Hicks is their #1 guy right now, and he's swinging the bat great, but Hicks has shown the ability to play first, and they DH him, and Mack known more for his defense than his offense. Hicks more for his offense than his defense. Mack, a top 50 prospect in the major leagues right now.
Watching Mack throw the ball down to second between innings, you see a very good arm similar to a Brendan Valenzuela, but a really different arm slot. It's a little lower, which is very surprising to see from a catcher behind the plate. Not that the Blue Jays try to steal too many bases, but if we get a look at that tonight, very unique from a catcher.
Manager Clayton McCullough looking on from the first base dugout. 2 down and the base is empty. And the 2-1 is low. Ball 3 on Jimenez. So Pinango still here, hitting in the 3 spot tonight. Figures to be in there a lot, bouncing around the order probably, depending on who's in on any given night. And Jimenez has popped it up, shallow left center field. It'll be the center fielder, Jacob Marcy, to make the catch as the Blue Jays go in order.
A retro jersey giveaway.
A pair of Western Conference Finals continue tomorrow. The Golden Knights are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup Final as they host the Avs on Sportsnet. Then the Thunder and the Spurs all tied up at 2. That series continues on Sportsnet 1. Rather on Sportsnet 360. I beg your pardon. This is the last play again. Glove, bill of the cap. Where is it? Glove, swat it to first, get the out. So what do you do when you go in the dugout? So, Pete, here's what's happened. Honestly, it hit me in the head, and I didn't know where it was, and I couldn't find it. And then it hit me in the glove, and then I figured, well, I better just swat it over to first.
That was good. That was good. That was right on cue. I think that's exactly what he was saying. And the pitching coach says, just get the out, Trey. Just get the out. Kick it over there if you have to.
Top 3, 1-0 Marlins, and here's Joe Mack, the catcher, to lead it off. Told you he's a top 50 prospect around the majors. And if people are wondering, well, he's in the big leagues. How can he be a top 50 prospect? On prospect lists, Baseball America, MLB Pipeline, that sort of thing. You retain your prospect status. You can still be on that list until you exhaust rookie eligibility. And he hasn't been up long enough to exhaust rookie eligibility. And I think you could still say the same thing about the guy on the mound right now.
Yep.
Trey Savage has not been in the majors enough to be removed from those lists, and he will be a rookie this year. Trey Savage is eligible to win Rookie of the Year this season.
Both are first-round draft picks. Trey in 2024. Joe Mack was back in 2021 with the Marlins.
And a pop-up. A 3-1 fastball down around the knees, and an easy play for Andres Jimenez. And Savage has retired everybody since the leadoff double by Xavier Edwards, but what the Marlins did after that was get him to third on a ground ball, get him home on a sac fly. The Marlins have fewer home runs than the Blue Jays, and everybody knows the Blue Jays don't have a lot of power. What the Marlins do is try to get him on, get him over, get him in. Here's Esteury Ruiz, the number 9 hitter, one of the fastest guys around. 3 years ago with the then Oakland Athletics, he stole 67 bases. Last year at AAA, hit 300 and stole 63 bases. A guy you want to keep off the bases.
Big thing for Ruiz is trying to steal first base, just get on base, right? Hitting has been the challenge, but if he gets there, he can cause you all kinds of problems. He's in his 5th year. He's played for San Diego, Milwaukee, the A's, the Dodgers, and now the Marlins.
Swing and a miss, and a slider away, and that's 4 strikeouts for Savage.
He's got all 3 pitches working now that he's corrected that splitter from earlier. See that pitch just taking off on him. This is what a hitter is seeing. That's a tough view. See how Trey really blocks. He almost turns his back to you. So not only is it the unique arm angle up high, but probably late picking up that baseball.
Top of the order, Xavier Edwards, who had the double and scored a run. Takes the strike of the belt, and it's 0-1. Pretty good double play combination the Marlins have with Edwards at second, Lopez at short. They actually switched positions early last year. Edwards was the shortstop and Lopez was the second baseman, and then it was decided they'd be better off if they switched.
Otto Lopez has really settled in with the Marlins as the everyday shortstop. And it looks like that's where he is going to stay.
Started to say, but his at bat ended quickly. The Blue Jays DFA'd him a couple of years ago when they signed Yariel Rodriguez. They needed a spot on the 40-man roster. He was picked up by the Giants and then got waived there and then went to the Marlins. So it has taken him a couple of years and a couple of teams, but boy, has he found his way with Miami. Offensively and defensively, it appears.
And that happens with players in this game, all across the game. There's a guy playing second base tonight that's been let go by a couple of teams in Ernie Clement. It happens, and guys mature and figure it out a little bit later at times.
That was caught, I believe, but Okamoto will make sure of it by throwing to first. And it's the second consecutive 3-up, 3-down inning for Savage. Are you a Rogers customer? It's Canada's winning inning. This inning, when the Blue Jays get ahead, you could win big with Rogers Beyond the Sea. A popular item, the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Born Ready bobblehead. Young Vladdy. Little Vladdy as the son of Vlad Jr. back in the Expos days. Unfortunately, Vlad not in the starting lineup tonight after taking that fastball off the elbow. Said his arm went numb and he could not feel two of his fingers. That's why we've never seen him do this before. Turn and just walk off the field. It looks like they avoided the worst case scenario, whatever that might have been. X-rays negative, no fracture, that sort of thing. John Schneider said could be available later tonight, but officially day to day. The other news, unfortunately, Dylan Cease on the IL. Schneider saying with a mild to moderate hamstring strain. As always, they're hoping it's the minimum, but the minimum is 15 days, which means he will miss at least 2 starts. Brandon Valenzuela leading it off. The counter move was a relief pitcher, Tanner Andrews, was called up to the majors, signed a major league contract, put on the 40-man roster. A 30-year-old who's got 11 years of minor league experience, has never pitched in the big leagues. Little dribbler up the third baseline, and you couldn't roll it up that line any better. And that'll be an infield hit for Valenzuela.
Change up from Junk down in the zone, and Brandon just cued it off the end of his bat, and that was like a beautiful putt. No play whatsoever. I don't know if it'll make Vladdy's elbow feel any better, Dan, but I was out for my morning walk at about 10 o'clock this morning, and there were people starting to line up around the stadium for Vladdy's bobblehead. It was a hot item.
Absolutely. So with Guerrero out, Lenin Sosa is playing first, batting 9th, as he tries to get a bunt down and bunts it foul.
That looked to me like something he did on his own, bunting for a hit.
Yeah, that was not a square for a sacrifice. That was trying to bunt for a hit.
And I really don't think, even though it's the 9-hitter, I don't think John Schneider would put it on in the 3rd inning like this.
Sosa's been struggling to come up with hits of any kind, so maybe just try to catch the Marlins by surprise. Third baseman Sanoja creeping in, and Valenzuela draws a throw. You would imagine it came down to Sosa or Davis Schneider for who was going to lose their spot on the roster. Sosa would have to be DFA'd. Schneider can be optioned, so they send Davis to AAA. Hopefully he can get going again. They keep Sosa here. Sosa can also play some first, and remember, Guerrero's out tonight. You saw how much he is struggling. 3 for his last 37. They're just not getting much off the bench from right-handed batters.
No, even yesterday, if you look at that game when the pinch hitting started, Sosa had to come in and run for Vladdy after the injury, but Straw for Pinango, Schneider for Sanchez.
So what the change will do with one more left-handed batter for Lucas and one less right-handed batter, there's not going to be as much pinch hitting because there aren't that many options. So whether it's a Lucas or a Pinango or a Sanchez, some of these guys are going to stay in and face left-handed.
Face the left-hander. Yep.
A leadoff single for Brandon Valenzuela, and it's 1-2 on Sosa here in the bottom of the 3rd. And he has popped it up back of first. Edwards will call off Hicks and make the catch in fair territory for out number 1. And once through the order, Jansen Junk, who gave up 8 runs in his last start and 7 the time before, has not given the Blue Jays much at all. Now those last 2 were against the Rays and the Braves. Those are 2 very good offensive teams. Here's George Springer getting his 2nd look at him. Hit a fly ball to right in the 1st.
He's a guy that will use a wide variety of pitches, and we've seen a lot of different pitches from Junk. These right-handers are just going to have to square something up because they've gotten pitches to hit. Second time seeing them, maybe.
In terms of the quality of the stuff, it is going to go up a notch the next couple of nights with Sandy Alcantara and Yuri Perez for the Marlins. Big arms, and Alcantara maybe not what he was before Tommy John surgery, but a former Cy Young Award winner, still throws hard.
Not that they beat these starting pitchers, but the Blue Jays 4 games that they won in a row, they won the games that Cam Schlittler started for the Yankees, Carlos Rodon, and then when Pittsburgh came to town, it was Bubba Chandler and Paul Skeens. So they can battle you at bat-wise.
Springer gives it a ride to straightaway center, but hit it to the wrong part of the ballpark. It'll stay in the yard. 2 down.
2 good swings, I think, from Springer here tonight. He's got nothing to show for it, but if he stays right there, he will be just fine. It's a changeup, and this was one of those pitches to hit. Puts a good swing on it. It's the wrong part of the ballpark. Pull that one a bit, George. Pull it.
2 down, and here's Nathan Lucas, who had a broken bat base hit to right in his return. Second time that they throw over to check on Valenzuela.
He does have a stolen base, you know. We saw him down there on the field the other day. He is holding up the actual base from his first major league stolen base.
It feels right seeing Nathan Lucas back on the roster. He's a big part of this and was a big part of it all last year. Now you don't have Varsho and Guerrero in the lineup tonight, but everybody hoping at some point eventually John Schneider can throw a lineup out there that kind of looks like last year, even though you don't have Barger, you don't have Kirk. They're still a couple of weeks away, but even if you just slot Guerrero and Varsho back in, now then again maybe Lucas is the odd man out if they do that, but having Lucas back gives them another option. Alejandro Kirk, the catching is ready to go. It's getting that thumb more comfortable and maybe pain-free when it comes to hitting. Has not gone out on a rehab assignment yet. And Barger, John Schneider said before the game, is going a little bit more slowly than they had hoped. Has not yet been cleared to resume throwing, resume baseball activities. Hopefully a couple days away.
Well, these Nathan Lucas's at-bats remind you of Alejandro Kirk a little bit. They're just tough at-bats on pitchers. And they can wear a pitcher down, and that's what they did so well last year. That approach seemed to go up and down this Blue Jays lineup, and that's what they've been lacking. It's just looked different with all of the chase, and we've seen improvements at times, and it feels like they're starting to get onto something. But as you said, when will you get that lineup that you thought you were leaving spring training with?
Valenzuela the lead, and for a 3rd time Junk throws over, and that's the 2nd disengagement in this at bat. They are expending a lot of energy on a guy with 1 career stolen base. 2-2. Check swing. Ball 3. So now Valenzuela will be running. And Hicks has come off the back. He'll play behind the runner. Pinango on deck. There goes Valenzuela, and the 3-2 line to right, a base hit. Valenzuela coming around to 3rd, and Nathan Lucas is 2 for 2.
Two very good at-bats already tonight from Nathan Lucas in his return, and that's the approach I'm sure John Schneider is thrilled to see back in the 2-hole. Brandon Valenzuela going on the pitch.
So 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Valenzuela likes it, and that'll get Pinango to the plate. Pinango 0 for 1. And he will take a changeup in for a strike. 0-1. Popped up in foul territory to the 3rd baseman Sanoja back in the 1st. Ground ball to 2nd. Junk got him to reach for one on the outside part of the plate, and that ground ball to second will end the inning. Still 1-0 Marlins.
Framing.
Z is for Zepbound. A is for asking. To begin the conversation. Is Zepbound the right choice for you? Ask a doctor about Zepbound. Visit zepbound.ca for savings.
1-0 Marlins go to the top of the fourth. Max Scherzer has selected Miles Straw as his conversation mate here tonight. Max slowly getting going, starting to throw again. John Schneider has to give so many injury updates. It's hard to keep track of them all before the game, but I think live hitters are next for Max the next time, I believe. We can tell you Shane Bieber's rehab assignment officially began today through 2 innings down in the Florida Complex League. That is rookie ball. And the next one hopefully up to 3 innings. You can almost think of what Shane Bieber did today, Joe, I think, as like his first start of spring training. So maybe, 4 or 5 more, 3-4 weeks maybe, but maybe all going well. Late June, a month from now, hopefully Shane Bieber is back. Now they're without Dylan Cease for at least 2 starts. They'll have to figure out who starts in that spot. Here's Liam Hicks, first pitch swinging, and a ground ball to second as we go down to Hazel.
Dan, Otto Lopez attributes his success this season to his maturity, learning from past mistakes and the guidance of the Marlins coaching staff. He's also made a slight tweak in his stance, and he's trying to get into his legs a little bit more, and it's working. Coming into tonight, Dan, Lopez leads the major leagues with 70 hits. Guys?
Impressive stuff. Thank you, Hazel. He hit 246 last year. He's hitting 337 this year. He also hit 15 homers last year. He's not just, slashing it to the opposite field, and he stole 15 bases. He has turned himself into a very nice, well-rounded big leaguer.
He's really using the whole field, and I think that's the big difference, and that's how he hit for high average. Using the middle of the field, going the other way a lot. Oftentimes right-hand hitters, we see these shifts where the second baseman will shade way over up the middle. That right side is a little bit more open. He'll take his hits over there. He can hit fastballs, breaking balls, off-speed pitches.
He lifts a high fly to left. Piñango is going back, and he's got room again. Lopez has hit 2 balls to the warning track and left tonight.
Just missing this pitch. Very similar to his sac fly. Tough to get to that fastball at the top of the zone from Savage, and Lopez did everything he could but just came up a bit short.
Kyle Stowers, who struck out, saw 3 splitters from Savage in the first inning. Couldn't connect on any of them. One and one. Savage gave up the leadoff double to Edwards, who again came in on the ground out and then the sac fly, but Trey has retired 11 in a row since that double. Good location, right in on his hands, and it's fouled off. 1-2.
Well, you're getting a lot of splitters from him, and maybe you slow things down a little bit, and then this fastball is all over you. Probably wishing he hadn't swung, but easier said than done. Sure, that's just a show pitch. You go right back to the splitter.
Missed away with it. What Savage is doing shouldn't be taken for granted, or nobody should assume, oh, he was automatically going to do this. He's been great this year. He came into this game with a 1.07 ERA, building upon what he did last year, as he strikes out another one. Valenzuela down to first to complete the out. 4 very, very good innings already for Savage. That is strikeout number 5. We'll see if the offense can give him some help. On Friday, June 12th, the first 15,000 fans into the Rogers Centre will receive an Andres Jimenez replica soccer jersey. Celebrate Canada's first tournament game with this exclusive jersey. Take note of the game time. 30 minutes later than normal. It'll be at 7:37. Get your tickets today at BlueJays.com. 1-0 Marlins. Bottom 4, and Kazuma Okamoto, who struck out in the first, will lead it off, with Jesus Sanchez and Ernie Clement to follow. The Blue Jays have 3 hits so far, all singles. Okamoto strikeout, the only one that Junk has. I'm sure poor Jansen Junk has heard about every joke that a guy can hear when you're a pitcher and your last name is Junk. It's like, it's not fair. And I'm sure he's got a thick skin and he can lean into it and laugh about it.
And he's got 3 different breaking balls. He's doing it to himself.
Yeah. Smoked up the middle, a solid base hit for Okamoto.
Well, big thing for Junk through his struggles. Clayton McCullough said he's got to get back to getting ahead, getting his count leverage. So here's a good example. You fall behind a hitter in Okamoto who's struggling with breaking pitches, but you have to come in with the fastball. It's a sinker right down the middle, and he pounds it right back through the box.
Here's Jesus Sanchez, who grounded out in the second, takes inside ball 1. I just saw a kind of an interesting transaction online. The Los Angeles Dodgers have activated Kike Hernandez off the injured list and have designated for assignment Santiago Espinal. An old friend here, had a couple of good years here. I wonder if never know. He's going to wind up somewhere.
Yeah.
Hit for Sanchez. And around to third comes Okamoto. We continue to see Sanchez square up splitters and change-ups down time after time.
I'm surprised that he does handle the fastballs, but I'm surprised teams aren't going up and in a little bit more like we saw earlier in the season. He sinks into his legs. I think this plays right into his swing path, and here we go again. Squares up an off-speed pitch at the bottom of the zone. Nice piece of hitting by Sanchez.
He is hitting over 400 in his last 15 games. And the Blue Jays threatening first and third, nobody out. And there's your hitter, Ernie Clement, who grounded out his first time up. Clayton McCullough has brought the infield in. Roof open for the first time this year. Clement drove in the only Blue Jays run yesterday against the Pirates with a base hit into left. Foul ball, and fortunately for Ernie, that's got to be about the longest second of your life. Seeing that ball at your feet, not sure if it's going to be fair or foul.
Stay foul. Yeah. Talk to that baseball.
Lays off, and it's a ball and a strike.
If Ernie hits a ground ball in the infield, I think we're going to see Okamoto take off from third base and almost entice them to throw you out, because then you'll be left with 2 on and just 1 out, as opposed to turning a double play. That's where Okamoto's going to be left at third base with 2 outs. You'd rather the first option.
Popped up. And over comes Edwards, and he'll make the catch. As Clement went after a slider that was off the outside corner and could not square it up.
He's that breaking pitch. He's got a couple of them that way out there. Can't do much with that, and Ernie knows it.
frustrated, especially with a couple of men on. Now it'll be Andres Jimenez hit a fly ball to center. His first time up. The infield remains in. Lopez, the shortstop, kind of shading up the middle, so a pretty good hole, the 5-6 hole, as they say, between short and third.
And if it's hit a little softer now on the ground and the middle infielder has to charge it, they will come home to get Okamoto, because you won't be able to turn a double play on a softly hit ball. These are all things going through the minds of infielders, and they're communicating that with themselves right now.
The Blue Jays out hitting the Marlins 5-1, but trailing 1-0. Trying to get on the board here, bottom 4. 1-2. Scoring position was a trouble spot for the Blue Jays in the loss yesterday to the Pirates. They went 1 for 12 in the game.
Good news is you're getting him out there. The bad news, you're not cashing him in.
Okamoto the lead at third, Sanchez at first. And the 1-2. Poke just foul. Bit of a defensive swing, but you know, sometimes these stay fair.
Well, he's been good with 2 strikes, and that's one reason why right there he catches that ball very deep, trying not to get beat.
And a strikeout. Junk gets him, and that's out number 2.
Not a big strikeout pitcher. He is a strike thrower, and he's in the zone a lot, but he gets the swing and miss from Jimenez.
So it's going to be up to Brandon Valenzuela, who had a base hit on a swinging bunt to the third base side of the mound in his first at bat. Infielders, obviously, especially up the middle, can back up right now. Still in on the corners, keeping the runners close, and Sanoja at third, guarding against another swinging bunt. Hooked foul, 1-1. The at-bat quality has been very good in recent weeks for Brandon Valenzuela, who in his last 20 games is hitting .300 with an OPS close to .950. To right, but caught by Casey. They get the contact they need, but it comes a couple of outs too late, and the Blue Jays cannot get him in. Celebrate a Blue Jays legend with the Roy Halladay replica jersey giveaway. On Monday, June 8th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a retro jersey honoring one of the greatest pitchers in franchise history. Buy your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. On to the 5th inning here. It's 1-0 Marlins. And if you're looking around and saying, a lot of the guys seem to have red on, sleeves, socks, this is not an accident. Jeff Hoffman was the one who spilled the beans to us in the clubhouse before the game. Whether it's a bonding thing or a superstition thing, we didn't get into that. It started a couple of weeks ago. Dylan Cease was doing it, and everybody in the clubhouse got on board, to the point that when Hoffman walked into the clubhouse and he saw Hazel May, he said, "Hazel, wait till you see what we've got in store for you tonight." So, and Jeff Hoffman choosing to think that this is a good omen that Hazel is wearing red as well.
Well, they're going to have to score a couple more runs if that's the case.
That's true. And
there is no truth that they are trying to match me. I am trying to match them tonight, guys.
We missed the memo.
Trey Savage is doing his job so far, as he misses up and in, ball 1 to Jacob Marcy, who struck out in the second. One of 5 strikeouts already for Savage. 1 run on 1 hit for the Marlins. And I made The oldest mistake a play-by-play announcer can make last inning, starting a thought or a story with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And so I'll restart it. And I know you know where I was going. Like what Trey Savage did last year was incredible, almost unprecedented in many ways. Here's a fly ball to center. Hit pretty well, but Lucas has room. But what he's doing this year is just as impressive. Remember, he's coming off a bit of a shoulder thing that held him back, so we got a bit of a late start. But teams now have a little bit more info and video and experience against him. And Joe, he's out there looking this year every bit as good as he did last year.
I think with the way last year went, just coming up and making those few starts in September, but all of the drama of October, it makes me feel like he was up the whole regular season. And that's what's so strange, but he is still pretty new at this. But when you get the experience that he got in October, a Monday night in May is nothing. Like, and pitching in the Bronx even there, I think I'm sure he was amped up a little bit more facing the Yankees last start, but he is cool as a cucumber.
Came into the start with a 107 ERA with giving up 1 run in 4 1/3 tonight. It's now at 121 up to the moment. But again, incredible numbers. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
He exudes such confidence because I think he knows he has 3 pitches and each one of them play. And he can do whatever he wants to do when he wants to do it.
Lined over the head of Okamoto and down the line into the corner. And on his way to second base with a 1-out double is Sanoha.
Generally more fastball slider to righties and mixes in some splitters at times, and fastball splitter to lefties and mixes in the sliders. But here's what you talked about earlier about Sanoha and the issues he can create. Good piece of hitting there, getting that slider the bottom of the zone, and now he's got some speed at second base. Keep an eye on him.
And here's Owen Casey, struck out in the second. Chase to splitter, 0-1. Casey, a second-round pick of the San Diego Padres back in 2020 out of Notre Dame High School in Burlington, Ontario, and was then involved in a deal with the Cubs in December that year. Yu Darvish, the big name in that deal. And then in the offseason, as we mentioned, traded from the Cubs to the Marlins for a good starting pitcher, Edward Cabrera. He rips this ball to right center field. It's going to split the outfielders, get to the wall on a bounce. Sanoha will come in easily, and the RBI double by Casey makes it 2-0.
Well, Trey had really been dominating Casey with the splitters, but he came back with a fastball and left it right down the middle. And if you do that to Owen Casey, he is probably going to make you pay, smoking this ball into the right center gap. Look at that location. He was on it.
So the Marlins now lead 2-0, and here's Joe Mack, the catcher, who popped out to the shortstop in the third. This one will go just foul up the line.
Casey got off to a slow start in April this season, but the last couple of weeks he's been coming around, and that's a dangerous bat if the Marlins can get him going.
They're 4 games under 500, but it appears they've got room to grow this year. Like they could be a team that gets on the right side of 500. They won 79 games last year. They weren't bad last year. And they were actually on the fringes of the wild card race with about a week to go in the season. Now, so far this year, the National League has been much better than the American League. It might take more wins to make the playoffs in the National League than the American League, but this appears to be a team on the rise.
Like the Rays and Yankees in the East kind of running away a little bit, Atlanta is doing that in the NL East. Washington and Philadelphia have turned things around, but they're right with them. And of course, the Mets are the cellar dwellers in that division.
Savage out in front, 0-2. A swing and a miss for strikeout number 6.
Well, he will throw the slider on occasion to left-handers, and it looked like that was it.
Basically going straight down. Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using the code STRIKEOUT. So 2 down, and Savage trying to make sure that Casey cannot score from out at second base as he faces Esteury Ruiz, who struck out in the 3rd. At the knees, 1-1. Trey has been very efficient here tonight. You can see just 60 pitches. Hasn't walked a batter. Neither has Jansen Junk. There has not been a walk in the game. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Couldn't get the chase. 2-2. That's kind of the slider we saw a couple of times at Yankee Stadium. Volpe had one, Judge had one, and he got hitters, right-handed batters, to chase that slider down and away. A tapper towards third. Okamoto on to Sosa for the out to retire the side. The Marlins get a run, though, and now lead 2-0 as we check in with Brad Fay for an update.
Dan, the in-game tracker is brought to you by Bet365.
On the Baseline's meeting rooms at Rogers Center offer a bold new way to meet and inspire. Reserve one of 4 elevated spaces, including the draft room, where Jays draft picks are made and major decisions take place. Take your next meeting beyond the office. Visit BlueJays.com/meeting rooms for more info. Bottom of the 5th inning. And Trey Savage is pitching well. 2 runs on 3 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. The Blue Jays have 5 hits, but once again, they're getting them on, Joe. Sometimes they're getting them over. They are struggling to get them in.
Well, and we said earlier in the broadcast, this Jansen Junk has been so tough on right-handed batters. It's because he throws so many different pitches to these righties, and sure enough, Okamoto's got the only right-handed hit. All the rest coming from left-handed batters tonight.
Lenyn Sosa leading it off here in the 5th. 0 for 1 on a pop-up. George Springer on deck, and then Nathan Lucas. Jammed him, and it's fouled back. 1-2. Not in the starting lineup tonight after getting hit on the elbow. If it's not later in this game, hopefully it is tomorrow. So Sosa getting the start at first base. Okamoto is the other guy on the roster with some first base experience. Two and 2 the count. And he takes away ball 3.
Will he throw him a 3-2 fastball here is the question. Very difficult guy to walk.
Well, nobody's been able to do it yet this year. 110 plate appearances, has not walked. That will get into center field. A base hit for Sosa.
And he did come back with a slider. Good piece of hitting by Sosa, staying on that just enough. It was in the zone, and that's where I think 3-2, if you do throw the strike to ball slider, that's a situation where you could do it to a hitter like that right off the end of the bat.
Hit number 6 for the Blue Jays in the 3rd inning in a row. The leadoff man has reached. And now it's back to the top of the order for George Springer. 0 for 2 on a couple of flyouts. George is not using the Hartford Whalers gloves, as you will notice, and I asked him why a couple of days ago, because the internet needs to know. And something happened to one of his cleats, the Hartford Whalers cleats that match the gloves. One of the metal spikes, I think, popped off, and he couldn't use the cleats. So he decided, for a couple of reasons, not to mix and match. So he's going to this combination. Plus, he told me his kids designed these batting gloves.
Very cool.
So if he's going to be mismatched, he's going to go with his kids, and the Whalers will have to take a back seat for a while.
Well, I think that's a very reasonable explanation.
Yes, it is.
That was a very reasonable swing right there too from George. He has had some very good swings tonight. Nothing to show for it. 3rd time seeing Jansen Junk.
Sosa the lead, and the 1-1 at the knees. 1-2.
You can see how that fastball from Junk gets onto hitters. They just seem to be frozen a bit. That one right at the bottom of the zone, but with all of the secondary pitches that he throws.
And another fly ball. This one to left center. It'll be Marcy again. 1 down.
That at bat right there, I think, really exemplifies why Junk is tough on right-handed batters. Now, I know I'm talking about a pitcher that's given him 15 runs in his last 2 starts, but overall he has really held right-handed hitters this season, and it's just the wide variety of pitches, the different speeds, the different breaks. He snuck that fastball down on the bottom of the zone before that slow sweeper, and George is out front.
Here's Nathan Lucas, who's already got a couple of hits in his return. A broken bat single to right in the 1st, and then a line drive single to right in the 3rd. So going back to before the hamstring injury, he's 13 for his last 23.
That was closer than I thought. Junk's got a pretty quick move over to first base. We saw it a couple of times with Valenzuela over there. Now Sosa, not a base stealer either, but Junk is holding these guys close.
Now back by Lucas. 0-2.
He certainly looked like a new hitter when he came back, didn't he? And he's shown it.
Well, remember, had vertigo at the beginning of the year, and once they got that diagnosed, got him on meds. You know, things got better, and we started to see Lucas look like Lucas. Sure didn't look like himself for a couple of weeks because of the vertigo. Inside, ball 1.
That was a good look at the Marlins coaches. They send signals in to the catcher. He is calling the pitch right there. He might be, and then there's a code. Catcher looks at his wristband, so it might be slider down and in. It might be changeup away.
The Marlins and the Rockies, the 2 teams that I'm aware of anyways that do this. That's it.
Marlins did it last year. They were the first ones.
Right.
And when they started doing it, I know the explanation from Clayton McCullough, and when we saw the Rockies earlier this season, same thing from them, is they just feel that with, especially the young catcher back there, young pitchers, they want to help them out and take a little bit off their mind.
Lucas has worked it full.
They have all of their data in the dugout based on counts, count leverage, and they feel that's their best option is to make the call.
As you said, Sosa doesn't have great speed, but Junk not a big strikeout guy. Lucas a good contact hitter. He's running here, don't you think?
I think so, with Nathan Lucas at the plate.
There he goes, and it's lined into left. Another hit for Lucas. He's 3 for 3.
Boy, Nathan just exemplifies that type of hitter that he's just trying to get the barrel to the baseball. Looks like a very short swing. Fastball out over there, just punches it that way. We saw him take a fastball in his last at bat and turn on and hit it hard to right field.
It's going to be very interesting in a healthy competition sort of way to see which 3 of the 4 left-hand hitting outfielders are in there every night. It'll have to do with production and matchups and rest and a bunch of different factors. But Lucas, he has come back swinging. Here's Piñango. So Piñango's been up with a man or men on base now 3 times in a row. He is 0 for 2 though. First and second, 1 out. The Blue Jays now up to 7 hits on the game, all singles. Mack blocks it to keep the runners where they are.
Excellent job by the young catcher. It's a changeup, and it really went right into the ground. You see, he has to go to his right. You're trying to get the chest protector in front of it, and he does just that, keeping it close to him. Just 23 years old in his first taste of the big leagues.
Foul back, 1-2. It's not like Junk has been on the edges all night long. And you said it earlier, they have missed some pitches in the middle of the plate tonight.
Doesn't it remind you a little bit of yesterday, Mitch Keller?
Yeah.
And not to compare the 2 pitchers. Mitch Keller's been doing it a long time and doing it very well, but a variety of pitches just doesn't seem like they can be squaring anything up beyond anything in particular.
A one-hopper that gets into right center, a base hit. Sosa in to score. Lucas around to third. There's a hit when they needed it. An RBI single for Yohendrick Piñango.
Well, they keep on doing it. This was a fastball on the inside part of the plate. He has to really pull his hands in. We talk about his short swing, and that's how he gets to this pitch. Hits it just hard enough. Maybe got jammed a bit to get it past Edwards. And as an infielder, you're trying to knock that down. It looked like he stayed high and the ball stayed low.
So they are on the board and within a run. Still just 1 out in the inning, and here's Kazuma Okamoto, who struck out in the first and had a line drive single to center in the 4th. Infield in. And it's popped up. First pitch swinging, popped up for Hicks. At first, maybe the wind got a hold of that one a little bit, but he stays with it for the out. 2 down.
Okamoto going in there looking for a first pitch fastball, I think, and he got one, but it was at the top of the zone, and he was under it.
So now 2 outs. Lucas remains at third, Piñango at first. And here is Jesus Sanchez. He is 1 for 2, had a base hit to right in his last at bat. A strike taken. Piñango got a healthy secondary lead there, and Mack looked like he might throw down to first. At times, this has been the Blue Jay offense. A lot of singles, and obviously you got to string them together if you're going to score some runs, if you're not hitting for power. Inside to ball and a strike.
This is more the plan that we've seen a lot of opposing pitchers try to execute against Sanchez. We've seen some secondary pitches down in the zone so far tonight, and that's the one that Sanchez drilled into right field last time up, a changeup. Junk is staying hard this time.
Up to 90 pitches now. Down the left field line, out of play. A breaking ball that again got a lot of the plate. Fouled off 1-2 with the right-hander Michael Peterson now up in the Miami pen. As the conversations intensify. First and third, 2 down. And the 1-2. Tried to get him to chase a high fastball, but it was way too high. And now Peterson has been joined by Lake Bakker. 2-2. And he got him. Junk strikes him out. The Blue Jays get one, strand two, and it's 2-1 Miami through 5. The Strikeout Spotlight is brought to you by Subway. Eat fresh, feel good.
Well, we talk about Trey Savage. He's got 3 pitches in the spotlight, but he's really doing it with the 2 secondary pitches tonight. Using the fastball earlier, but he's got 4 strikeouts on the splitters, 2 on the sliders, and not one of them in the zone. This is what he can do against a young lineup especially. They're a little eager, they're a little antsy, and he's getting them to expand with 2 strikes.
Very efficient. 63 pitches, 44 strikes. About to face the top of the order for the 3rd time. Has not walked a batter in the game. Xavier Edwards, the second baseman, doubled and scored in the 1st. And then a soft liner to 3rd in the 3rd as he takes up and away ball 1. .315 this year, and in parts of 4 seasons in the big leagues, a career .301 hitter. In the air to left, Pinyango. One down as we go to Hazel.
Dan, you know, the big point of emphasis for Liam Hicks going into this year was to add some power to his game. Hitting coaches challenged him to hit the ball with a little bit more authority. He said he can live with a few more strikeouts in favor of a few more homers. He has 11 home runs for this month and an OPS of .833. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. Almost twice as many home runs as he hit last year in about half the plate appearances. A young man who, as we mentioned, from Toronto, and I know there are members of the North York Blues and the North Toronto A's and the Toronto Mets all here tonight. Those are the 3 teams that Hicks played for on his way up. Big Jays fan as a kid, came here a lot.
Liam talked about the experience that he got in the big leagues last year and how that has helped him in his 2nd year in the big leagues. And we hear some hitters talk about doing more damage, and I think he admitted he's such a contact hitter that rather than just putting the ball in play, because you put the ball in play a lot, try to do something with it. We've seen him use the pull side more this year, and he's trying to get it into the air or to the pull side.
First walk of the ball game for either side. A 4-pitch walk here with 1 out in the 6th. Now Savage will face Lopez, who has hit the ball a long way twice. A couple of fly balls to the warning track and left. The first one a sac fly to bring in a run in the 1st. And then a nobody on fly ball to left in the 4th. That's a little down and in for ball 1. Right field, Sanchez in, makes the catch, 2 down. Five 2/3 now. 71 pitches for Savage. The longest he has gone in a game this year is 6 innings. Has done that each of his last 2 starts. Kyle Stowers is the batter, and he has not had any fun tonight. Savage has gotten him with a number of splitters. Bunch of swings and misses already. This one is popped up. Jimenez out. Pinyango in, and he doesn't catch it. And the Marlins are going to get a run out of this. I think each thought the other was going to make the play, and a ball that needed to be caught was not caught, and the Marlins get a run.
This ball was just hit softly in the air in between the left fielder and the shortstop. But you both have to go at it hard until one calls off the other. You see the alignment of the infield. Jimenez starts going out, but I think he just gives way to Pinyango, but Pinyango was not coming in hard for it. And we saw a collision by these 2 fielders just last week, and that's the conversation was, as a left fielder, you got to make sure you're coming in hard. And I think Jimenez is at the point now, he feels like he might have to go for everything because Pinango is just not charging real hard.
Boy, a big play because it leads to a run and extends the inning. You can see Pinango looking down, and then he accelerates. Pinango thought Jimenez was going to get it. Jimenez thought Pinango was going to get it.
He is a young outfielder in left field, counting on the veteran shortstop to take charge, but it should be the other way around. When you're coming in for the baseball, you are in charge. You need to be yelling, I got it, so that your shortstop gets out of your way. And now Jimenez is in a bind, right? Because now he knows that he's not very aggressive out there. He doesn't want to take charge. Well, the one time he went out there, he got clocked.
We have seen at times Jimenez go back and very aggressively and easy for everybody to see, calling off the outfielder, saying, I've got it. I don't believe he was doing that there. I was looking more at Pinango than Jimenez, but I don't think Jimenez was gesturing that way. Challenge coming here from Brandon Valenzuela. This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers. And that is
Toronto has one challenge remaining.
That is a ball just outside, so the Blue Jays down to one challenge. Goes flying into the netting over near the first base dugout, and it's 3-2 on Marcy. And that's the kind of play, as you get another look at the foul ball, that gets scored as a double. That does not get scored as an error, and your Savage should be out of the inning.
It's an issue that they're going to have to continue to address if Pinango is going to be in left field. And the easiest way to address it, I'm sure what they have done, it should be received easily, is come and get it. Anything shallow, we want you to come and get it. Be the aggressor.
Runner at second, 2 down, and a full count on Marcy. And the pitch. Down and in with a splitter for ball 4. Second walk given up this inning by Savage, and the inning will continue.
Well, on this play, you'll see that Andres Jimenez is really playing over by the second base bag because it's a left-handed batter. See how far he's playing in the middle of the field. So he has a long way to go. As Pinango, he's a little bit deep too, but if he just comes hard for that baseball, he catches it easily. But we saw in that previous shot, he looked at his shortstop a couple of different times, waiting for him to come help him.
A costly play, and Pete Walker on the mound right now, trying to give Trey Savage a moment. Nobody has gotten up in the bullpen. And the batter is going to be Javier Sanoja, a tough out. Grounded out his first time up, and then doubled and scored his last time up. At least when the Blue Jays have seen him, he's been a very tough out. 7 for 14 against them between last year and tonight. Inside, ball 1. Down the right field line. Will it stay in play? It will not. 1-1.
Sanoja, a better breaking ball and off-speed hitter than fastball hitter.
Down to a knee as he swings and misses on that slider. 1-2.
Good one there.
The because of the arm angle Savage has, his slider, instead of having a lot of horizontal break away from a right-handed batter, it's almost straight down, sometimes even arm side in on a right-handed batter. Not only did that play score a run, it has forced Savage to throw a lot of extra pitches here this inning. This might cost him an inning when it's all said and done. 1-2 again. Line drive, left field. Pinango back, and it's over his head. And the lead grows for the Marlins. 2-run score on the play, and it is 5-1.
Well, the defensive miscues continue here in left field. Pinango tried to size this up. It's a line drive, get a good look at him. By the time he realized where it was, it's over his head. And then he compounded the problems by throwing to the wrong place. He throws that ball to second base after the batter runner when you've got to throw that ball into your cutoff man in line with home plate.
And a guy who quite honestly did not have a great defensive reputation in the minors, known much more for the bat than the glove. But boy, has this been a rough inning for him, and how costly has it been for Savage and the Blue Jays. These are all hits, these are all earned runs, and whatever they are, it's their runs, and it's now 5-1 in a game where realistically it should be 2-1 with Savage off the mound.
Long time ago.
Owen Casey, the batter, struck out his first time up, an RBI double in the 5th in his second at bat.
Not fun for a young player, because when you have your struggles at the major league level, there are a lot of eyes on you. When you have your struggles down in the minor leagues in AAA, it's not nearly like this, but everything is in the spotlight when you're in the big leagues.
Skied to center. Lucas waiting for it, and it makes the play, and finally the Marlins are retired, but they get 3 runs in this inning.
On Sportsnet.
The Sportsnet Plus City TV Plus bundle gives you playoff games, the Blue Jays, and must-watch series from HGTV, Food Network, and more. Visit sportsnetplus.ca to bundle today. Roof open for the first time here at the ballpark tonight, but it's 5-1 Marlins. They just got 3 in the top of the 6th inning. Again, a couple of plays that should have been made by Yohendrick Pinango. They go as hits, a couple of walks mixed in as well. And now Clayton McCullough has turned it over to the bullpen. Right-hander Lake Bacher.
Bacher is 30 years old, 16 games this season. That ERA is under 3. How about that whip of .91 though? Just 9 walks against 27 strikeouts in his 25 1/3 innings of work.
And another guy very tough on right-handed batters, just like the starter Jansen Junk. You saw righties hitting just 116 off him this year. Ernie Clements 0 for 2. And he'll take the slider in there, 1-1. Andres Jimenez and Brandon Valenzuela coming up after Clement. On the appeal, no swing, ball 2.
It's a sharp curveball.
Clement gets into one. Fly ball to deep left. Still going. It's gone. Number 4 on the season for Clement to make it 5-2.
Fastball, and it was middle in after Bacher fell behind. He just got it up in the air, and it just kept carrying on out of here into the Blue Jays bullpen.
Now Andres Jimenez. Vladdy saying, let's go, let's go. Ernie Clement doing his part here this at bat. Blue Jays now out hitting the Marlins 9-5, but trailing 5-2. As Jimenez bounces one to Hicks, the feed to Bacher for the out.
Well, Bacher's so tough on right-handed hitters, but you get a guy like Ernie that's sitting dead red fastball, and he gets it middle in, right into the barrel. Looked like Ruiz just lost it maybe for a split second, but it didn't matter.
Now Brandon Valenzuela had an infield hit and then lined out to right, hit it 105 miles per hour. Again, the last 3-4 weeks, the quality of the at-bats, it's been really, really good for Valenzuela. The contact's been good. A lot of the outs have been a very hard contact.
Good swing right there.
Tyler Rogers up in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Two and one, and just outside, ball 3. Left-hander Andrew Nardi now throwing for the Marlins. And the Blue Jays with a lot of left-handed bats in the lineup tonight. Foul back, 3-2.
Tough pitch, just gets to it.
Lenyn Sosa getting the start at first with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. out of the lineup, waits on deck. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Got him to swing over the top of a breaking ball, 2 down. The line for the starter for the Marlins tonight, Jansen Junk, gave up 8 hits, but scattered them around. They were all singles, got the outs he needed to, Joe, to give up just 1 run.
He certainly did. A lot of different pitches. He had both slider, sweeper going. He was sinking the fastball at times. 4-seamer. Nothing overpowering necessarily, averaging just over 94 with that fastball, but Blue Jays could not square much up, and they had plenty of pitches to hit.
Sosa 1 for 2, had a base hit to lead off the 5th and came in to score on the Piñango single. Chased it, and it's 0-2. Savage still looks like he is in the game. Got his game face on anyway, that's for sure. Outside, ball 1. Swung on and missed, and that'll end the inning. The Blue Jays get 1 back on the home run to lead off the bottom of the 6th by Ernie Clement, number 4 on the season. Got enough of it to get it into the Blue Jays bullpen at the end of 6. The Marlins now lead the Blue Jays 5-2.
Lynch, Golden Knights, Game 4, tomorrow on Sportsnet.
The next Junior Jays Sunday, presented by Ontario Honda Dealers, is a week from this coming Sunday, June 7th, and it's outdoors. Arrive early for games, inflatables, mascots, and more. Visit BlueJays.com/promotions for tickets. Trey Savage is indeed back on the mound to begin the 7th. 5-2 Marlins. Fastball in there. 1-1 on Joe Mack, the Miami catcher. A night where if you're just flipping on the TV looking at the scoreboard, that does not do justice to the way that Trey Savage has pitched tonight. But a couple of defensive issues for Yohendrick Peniango in the 6th inning, and they were very costly. Grounded up the middle. Here comes Jimenez. Got lots of time to make the play. Mack retired. 1 down.
Well, all Trey Savage can do is keep recording outs, try to keep his team in this ball game. It's a 3-run game now. That Marlins bullpen has been good, but Ernie Clement has already homered off their first reliever. Keep them off the board from here on out.
Esteury Ruiz is 0 for 2, the number 9 hitter in the Marlins lineup. Pete Walker on the phone again. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Now it's Mason Fluharty up in the pen. Got the left hand hitting Liam Hicks a couple of spots away.
Edwards, the switch hitter, is a little tougher against left-handed pitchers, so you might just have Savage face him.
Valenzuela asked for the appeal, but no swing. Ball 1. A lot of day games today around the majors, this being the Memorial Day holiday in the U.S. The Yankees beat the Royals 4-3, and the Orioles won a wild one with the Rays 9-7 in 13 innings. Tampa Bay got 2 in the top half. Baltimore got 4. Colton Cowser walked it off with a home run in the bottom half. The Blue Jays will see the Orioles for the first time all season in their next series. The 4-gamers starting on Thursday night down at Camden Yards. So they might run into Chris Bassett, I guess.
Yes.
Full count now on Ruiz.
Pitching been a bit of an issue for those Orioles.
To left center. Lucas coming over to make the catch. 2 down.
Catch every pitch with Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network and best 5G Plus network. Rogers, we got you.
John Schneider's on his way to the mound, so he'll make the change here with Trey Savage having gone 6 2/3, 98 pitches, and again deserved a better fate here tonight. He pitched very, very well again, but unfortunately it's 5-2 Marlins. A big ovation for him with Mason Fluharty on his way in.
Take it easy. Try Skechers Slip-ins.
Trey Savage, 6 2/3 tonight, 5 hits, 5 runs earned, but again 2 plays that should have been made. Both went as hits, so all the runs are earned. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. And here is Mason Fluharty to face the leadoff hitter for the Marlins, Xavier Edwards, who went 1 for 3 tonight against Savage. Doubled in the first. And a soft liner in the third, then a line drive to left in the 6th. So even though This has been his stronger side this year. It was his weaker side last year, and maybe they just don't want Edwards to see a Savage for a 4th time. Also Trey at 98 pitches.
Fluharty came in yesterday relieving Dylan Cease after he left the ballgame with an injury in the 5th inning. Got a couple of outs. Did walk one, but struck out a pair.
In on the corners, back up the middle with 2 outs and the bases empty. And the 1-1 fouled back, now 1-2. Conversation with Max Scherzer, but you can imagine there's a little steam coming out of the ears of your Savage tonight.
Yeah.
And the Blue Jays the last couple of years, without question, either the eye test or the numbers, one of the best defensive teams in baseball, really for a few years running now. And this year, I think both the eye test and the numbers suggest much more around average. And it's costly.
And it's especially costly in the outfield.
Yeah.
Oftentimes those mistakes in the outfield can cost you runs, whereas an infielder makes a mistake, it might be a base. And nobody feels worse than the guy it happened to, and that's Pinango himself. He's a young kid coming up to the big leagues. Things have been going pretty good, swinging the bat pretty well. Had some big hits for this team. You're trying to do everything you can defensively, and you have a couple lapses out there. That's just part of big league life. No fun to deal with it, but he's going to have to just keep working at it and move on. But that could also alter your playing time issue that we had the discussion about earlier tonight.
They've got 4 guys for 3 spots. But he can hit. Drove in another run, had another hit tonight. He's helped them a lot in those ways. Strike 3 call. Little backdoor sweeper there from Fluharty to get Edwards. As he retires the first batter he faces. 7th inning stretch at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays coming up down by 3. Well, one of the most important guys on the team, one of the most popular guys on the team, continues to get a little bit closer. Alejandro Kirk is here with the team. He is running. This is going fine. John Schneider has said he could catch it a game tomorrow, further behind on the hitting. That thumb is taking a little bit of time. And when he goes out on a rehab assignment, then you'll know he's close. But I guess this is the step before that, and it's good just to see him here doing baseball things.
It is, and it sounds like when you refer to the hitting as a right-handed batter, it's his left thumb, which is his catching hand. And when you finish your swing, that bat is just hanging on by that thumb at the very end, and that seems to be the part that's keeping him back a little bit while it heals some more.
5-2 Miami, bottom 7. And George Springer, the batter, 0 for 3 on 3 fly ball outs. Nathan Lucas, Yohendrick Pinango due up after him. Ooh. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. may be in play. Also could be a decoy. We have seen that used from time to time. A little gamesmanship in the big leagues, but we'll see if Vladdy is indeed in play. Lefty is up in the bullpen for the Marlins. And Springer down on strikes for out number 1. Couple of sliders in good spots from Bacher.
You see the catcher, Joe Mack, he's going to give a target away to his pitcher. Watch the target. His body's more middle, but he's going to reach out. Hey, get it out here. Make sure it's out. And then he goes out there late. Hits a spot.
And that's the last batter for Bacher, as the left-hander Nardi is going to come in with a couple of lefties due up for the Blue Jays. Nathan Lucas getting a little info even as we speak.
Beauty of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Welcome back. Nathan Lucas said it is tough to gauge how much he was able to test that hamstring while playing in low A. He said it's difficult to simulate the adrenaline rush you feel rounding the bases in a big league game with 40,000 fans when you're playing in front of a handful of fans in Dunedin. He said he'll know how good his lower body feels after that first real aggressive trip around the base paths. He said being in front of this crowd, Dan, will give me the confidence to push it. Guys.
Hazel, thank you. He is 3 for 3 tonight, so he's been on the bases a lot, and then he did go first to third on a base hit by Piñango his last time up, so he has certainly tested the hamstring, and the bat, Joe, appears to be just fine.
He is shooting the ball all over the field. Good bat to ball skills.
Lefty on a lefty with Andrew Nardi, who's now out in front of him 0-2.
Andrew Nardi is in his 4th season with the Marlins, but he missed all of last season with a back injury. 70+ strikeouts in each of his 2 previous seasons.
You saw Guerrero's got a helmet and a bat. Piñango is on deck. We don't know if Vladdy is a decoy or is actually in play, and if he's in play, John Schneider's got to pick that one spot where the leverage is the highest.
Yeah, I wonder if he gets on here. Maybe Vladdy hits. If not, maybe not.
There are other left-handed bats, and a Sanchez and a Jimenez a little bit further down in the lineup. There's also a righty now getting up in the pen for the Marlins, but obviously Nardi's got to face 3 batters, and this is just his first one. A lot of moving parts right now with Peterson up again. Ooh, that hit Lucas. Back to his feet and taking off the elbow guard and the shin guard, and hopefully okay. The man deserves a break.
And nobody feels worse than Nardi on the mound. You saw his reaction right away. Both hands go on top of his head.
Jose Menestral, John Schneider out. You saw a little smile from Lucas right there. It hit 2 things. I don't know if it hit his shoulder and then his helmet. I think it might have caught the umpire too.
I thought it hit his helmet and then the umpire. See what hits first. Yeah, it's the helmet.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
then the umpire's mask. Yeah, it was a direct shot to his helmet.
I thought it might have hit the shoulder blade or the shoulder, but off kind of just at the edge of the bill of the helmet. And
as a left-handed batter, you're trying to stay in there so long because of that breaking ball. And you stay in there so long that it's just a little fraction of a second too much.
So he's getting kind of an on-field concussion test here from Jose Menestral. And everybody feels okay that he's okay.
I think he wants him to run a bit. You stay in there, stay in there, stay in there, and then you tuck away at the very last second. Fraction of a second.
So now a meeting on the mound with the Marlins to try to settle Nardi down a little bit. John Schneider and Jose Menestral now leaving first base, confident that Lucas is okay. He will stay in the game. Piñango looked back to the dugout, but he is coming up to hit. One on, one out, 5-2 Marlins. And again, with another left-handed bat on the roster with Lucas and one less right-handed bat in Davis Schneider, there will be less pinch hitting in these kinds of situations. Vladdy still may be called upon. We don't know, but Piñango will face a lefty here. 1 for 3 with an RBI single tonight. And given how things have gone in the field, nobody in the ballpark right now wants Piñango to get a hit more than Piñango.
Yeah, and I think with 1 out, maybe Vladdy is going to be in that Sanchez spot a couple from there after Okamoto. Let Piñango have this at bat.
Nardi saying my bad. Obviously no intent there.
Tough pitch. Got a 94-mile-an-hour fastball coming in. It's running in on you. Just can't get out of the way.
He was fortunate that he turned his head as much as he did. I think that kind of softened the blow a little bit. 1-2. Piñango didn't get a ton of at-bats against lefties in the minors this year at AAA, but when he did well. 8 for 22, a .364 average with 2 doubles and a homer. And again, he may get more of these opportunities here in the big leagues. This is hit well, slicing though down the line and winding up in the seats foul. In a bigger sample size last year in the minors against lefties, it was kind of a hold your own. I think it was a .253 average. So, I mean, at some point with every left-handed batter, the manager coach has got to find out, can they hit lefties? Can you leave them in there in this kind of a spot? Swung on and missed. Nardi got him with a sweeper for out number 2.
A pretty good fastball coupled with this breaking pitch. And when you get a breaker like that after a couple of fastballs, that can look like a lot. He's just a little bit light.
Here's Kazuma Okamoto, 1 for 3, had a base hit back in the 4th. Nardi out in front, 0-1. And you can see Guerrero is now out on deck to hit for Sanchez. Okamoto, though, with a little soft bouncer back towards the mound, and they'll still get the out. He almost underhand tossed it right over Hicks, but they get the 3rd out in the inning. It is still 5-2 Marlins. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Brad Fay and Chris LaRue.
Dan, Home Hardware is proud to be the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. The difference in this ball game right now, the top of the 6th and the defensive adventure for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that play has to be made, Brad. You have to know where your infielders are. Yohendrick Piñango is looking at this baseball. Then you can see him actually peek down at Andres Gimenez. Andres Gimenez was shaded up the middle. As an outfielder, you have to take charge. You can't be tentative. And then, of course, this next ball hit at him. This one was a little bit more difficult. A tough play for any outfielder. An expected batting average of about .430. That's the difference in the ballgame.
And it felt like Trey Savage deserved better. The crowd gave him an ovation when he left the game. And the Montreal Canadiens down 2-1 as we speak over on Sportsnet. The Hurricanes have the lead in the 2nd period. Back with the conclusion here from the Rogers Center after this.
Tyler Rogers hasn't pitched in a while. Thursday, his last outing, so he comes on here for the Blue Jays, even with them trailing by 3, as the numbers suggest. He has been outstanding for the Blue Jays so far this season. And the Marlins tonight seeing both the highest release point in baseball and the lowest release point in baseball. Both of those are on the Blue Jays staff.
Liam Hicks is walking up right now saying, wait a minute. Earlier tonight, Savage's pitch was coming from above the Jumbotron. This one's going to be coming from below the pitching rubber. 2 extremes indeed, in very different styles.
Hicks tonight, a couple of ground outs, and he's also walked and scored as he takes a little up and in for ball 1. Is in there, 1-1. So Hicks swinging the bat harder. The bat speed is better than it was a year ago. Hitting the ball in the air, getting it to the pull side. Not a guy who looks like he's going to hit a lot of home runs to left center or anything like that, but he has done a really, really good job of getting the ball in the air to the pull side, and that's where the 11 home runs have come from.
And Rogers, I'm sure, will try to stay away from him with that sinker.
Smoked back off Rogers, who picks it up and won't have a play. And is he okay?
I don't think it was hit extremely hard, but it's still a baseball going off your foot or shin or wherever it got him. Played a little goalie right there. He blocked it, but it rolled a little too far away from him.
He waved off the dugout. He's okay. Nobody comes out to talk with him. And here's Otto Lopez, 0 for 2, and also has a sac fly. One and one. That slider comes in at 73 down and in, ball 2. And a swing and a miss as Lopez kind of falls over the plate with the force of that swing. 2-2.
He does not strike out much. We see that release point, but he will chase. And Rogers with that release point, a little bit of a unique look for Lopez, and all of these Marlins hitters probably not picking up the baseball as well as others.
A guy who is also very, very good at getting ground balls and would love one hit at somebody here, although Lopez runs well. A little bit tough to double up. Lays off that slider up and away, and it's 3-2.
Lopez with that contact-oriented approach hits a lot of ground balls too, so this is a perfect match for Rogers.
And even though Hicks doesn't have a ton of speed, because of this pitcher-batter combo, do they start him here? They don't, and it's inside, ball 4, so it's 2 on with nobody out. Now Kyle Stowers. It was Stowers who hit that fly ball to shallow left, the one that Pinango didn't get to, beyond Jimenez, and then kind of off the foot or leg of Pinango with the last second. It went for an RBI double. In what should have been the 3rd out in the top of the 6th inning. That is the biggest moment of the game. Not only did it score a run, it extended the inning. Savage walked the next batter, but then Sanoja lined one to left, and Pinango couldn't judge it in time to make a play on it. Went over his head, and that went for a double, and that scored 2, and that inning is the difference in the ball game.
Really broke things open for the Marlins. Now it's up to Rogers again, trying to get that ground ball with 2 on and nobody out.
Challenge.
Boy, it took Valenzuela
just in time. Yeah, you got 2 seconds there or thereabouts,
and he's already lost 1.
Yeah. And that one will go in his favor. So it's 1-2, and the Blue Jays still have 1 remaining.
Counts 1-2.
And I'm sure that's what was going through his mind, right? You've already lost 1. You want to make sure you're right, but it is the 8th inning. Take your shot, but all of that took a second to register.
Yeah, 2 men on base, too. This is leverage. So they've still got 1. The Marlins still have both. To left field, and it's a fair ball. Hicks will come in to score, and this is going to wind up being an RBI double for Stowers. He just poked it the other way to make it 6-2.
Well, some soft contact mixed in with a walk here this inning from Rogers, but you're right about poking it. Just kind of shot it that way off the end of his bat, but tucked it in that line perfectly to score the run. And now the Blue Jays will bring the infield in, trying to limit the damage.
The batter is Jacob Marcy. And a high chopper. Okamoto's got it and makes the play. to get Marcy, but another run comes in to score to make it 7-2. Another example of where soft contact is kind of the enemy of Tyler Rogers sometimes.
Yep. Did it again. Sinker down in the zone, you get that ground ball, but that's not the ground ball you wanted. Not the style of a ground ball.
Runner at third, one out. The infield remains in. For Javier Sanoja. Back to the mound. Rogers has him hung up between third and home. Okamoto to Valenzuela, and he'll put the tag on him for the second out. And on the play, Sanoja winds up at second. They're now 2 down.
Well, Tyler Rogers almost got himself in a bind here. He gives the ball up, and as a pitcher, you have to stay on the same side of the line. If he kept going, that runner could have run into him, but Valenzuela takes care of him.
And John Schneider is on his way out to the mound. Left-hander Adam Macko has been up in the bullpen, so it looks like that's going to be all for Rogers. 2 runs in for the Marlins to make it 7-2. And Macko may face Owen Casey when he comes in. Owen Casey had himself a WBC. This is a 2-run homer in Canada's opening game against Colombia. Casey went 7 for 17 in the World Baseball Classic. More than held his own. Hit the ball hard. A drive to deep center against Panama. And just continued to hit. A big hit to knock in a run against Cuba. As Canada won that game. Canada eventually going to the quarterfinals. What an experience and what production for Owen Casey, the Burlington, Ontario native, and a teammate in that WBC of the man on the mound, Adam Macko. So these guys shared a dugout and were teammates in the WBC, but they are opponents here tonight.
4 games for Macko. Made his major league debut at Yankee Stadium last week. 4 scoreless outings so far. No walks and 3 strikeouts in his 3 1/3 innings of work.
Out in front of Casey, 0-2. Keeping an eye on Sanoja. In and out of the mid of Valenzuela, so Casey's still at the plate.
Casey looked, Valenzuela looked. Brandon not happy. Casey just gives a breath of fresh air saying thank you very much, I got another shot.
And that will sneak through the right side for a base hit. Sanchez charging. The throw to the plate not in time. Casey with an RBI single to score Sanoja and to make it 8-2.
Well, Macko was ahead 0-2. He did throw a bad pitch, but I think he wanted to bury this a little bit more down and away so that Casey could not get to it at all. But Owen's a big guy. He's able to reach out there and get it and hit it hard into right field.
So now Joe Mack, the catcher, comes up. Another left-handed batter. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Fastball down the middle, 0-1. It's another one of those nights where you replay the at-bats in your head and you feel really badly for Tyler Rogers.
Oh man.
Like he just got charged with 3 runs and didn't deserve it. It's just weird contact, right?
Baseball.
Yeah. Ooh, that ball is smoked, and it's off the glove of Clement into right for a base hit. That'll bring Casey around to third on a hard hit ball by Mack.
Smoked is right, and I think Ernie, all he could do is take that little half step back and try to get himself as good a hop as possible. Still a short hop.
Obviously, though, a base hit given how hard it was hit. Inning continues, first and third. And Esteury Ruiz is up. He is 0 for 3. Change up for a strike, 0-1. Left-hander John King now up in the Marlins pen. Marlins rode in here on a 3-game winning streak, swept the Mets over the weekend. Swung on and missed. 1-2.
Didn't we use the word pesky this afternoon when we were talking about this Marlins team? And it's really what we have seen all night. Clayton McCullough's got a group that just keeps trying to do it different ways. He knows they don't hit a ton of balls out of the ballpark, so they got to do a lot of other things, and the offense has done that tonight with a little help, but still.
Strike 3 called, and finally the top of the 8th comes to an end, but Miami adds on 3. Elite pitching deserves a spot on your shelf, so get to the ballpark early on June 10th. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Dylan Cease bobblehead. Buy your tickets now at BlueJays.com/promotions. Unfortunately, Cease going on the IL with what John Schneider said is a mild to moderate hamstring issue. He could be off the IL by June 10th. Maybe he'll even be on the mound. That would require a minimum 15-day stay, but hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later for Cease. 8-2 Marlins going bottom 8. Left-hander John King into the game.
7 seasons for King, pitched for 3 different teams, the Rangers, Cardinals, and now the Marlins, and he's enjoying a fine season here with the Marlins. ERA just over 2 in his 24 games.
Miles Straw pinch hitting for Jesus Sanchez. Close but no, and it's 1-1. It'll be Straw, Ernie Clement, and then Andres Jimenez is due up third this inning. You can see Straw seeing where the third baseman Sanoja is, and he's going to try to drop one down. He let it go, but it's called a strike. 1-2.
Miles thinking we need base runners.
Yep.
Find a way to get on.
Good idea with the third baseman back, but decided not to offer at it. Now Mack asked for the appeal, didn't go, and it's 2-2. The Marlins now 8 runs on 9 hits, a 3-run top of the 8th inning to kind of stretch out this lead. Straw hooks it foul. Blue Jays had a lot of good momentum going, had won 4 in a row heading into the last game of the series against the Pirates yesterday. Could not get the hits when they mattered in that one, lost 4-1, and now down by 6 here in this one. Straw with a grounder to third. Good arm by Sanoja, 1 down. That'll bring up Ernie Clement, who homered his last time up, his 4th of the season. 372 feet to left field. And the highest launch angle. Ernie usually hits him more on a line, but got enough of it to get it out of here.
Fastball inside. He really caught it out front. and hit it skyward.
Looks like a major league debut is coming. Tanner Andrews was added to the major league roster today, taking the roster spot of Dylan Cease. Andrews is 30 years old, has never pitched in the majors, 11 years in the minors, a reliever with Buffalo. They're going to need somebody to start in the Dylan Cease spot on Friday, but in the meantime they call up a reliever to give them an extra arm out of the pen. The bullpen's been worked hard this year. Little looper, and it's down for a base hit in left center. So think about it, 11 years, Joe, in the minor leagues waiting for this opportunity, and it looks like it's coming tonight for Tanner Andrews.
That's pretty special for any minor leaguer when they finally do get that call. He was originally a draft pick of the Miami Marlins, 10th round pick in 2018. So he gets to make his major league debut with his current team, the Blue Jays, against the team that drafted him.
Here's Andres Jimenez. He'll slash it to left field, where it'll be caught by Ruiz for the second out. Jimenez now 0 for 4. And King will face Brandon Valenzuela, who has had an infield hit. He's lined out and struck out. Turns around to bat for the right side with a lefty on the mound. There are not many games where you out-hit the opposition and are down 6 runs on the scoreboard, but that's the kind of night it has been. Defense has been an issue. Walks have been an issue. Not hitting with runners in scoring position has been an issue. And a fly ball to right for the third out. On to the 9th, and indeed Tanner Andrews is about to pitch in a major league game for the first time. Next game comes your way tomorrow. Blue Jays Central at 6:30 Eastern Time. The Marlins led by 3 Canadians, including Liam Hicks, taking on the Blue Jays again. Ernie Clements had a good night tonight. Spencer Miles will be a big part of it, whether it's as a starter or somewhere in the middle remains to be seen. But how good has Miles been recently? Tough night tonight, though. The Marlins are up 8-2 going to the top of the 9th inning, and now time to focus on 30-year-old Tanner Andrews, about ready to make his major league debut.
Well, it's been a long go, and you have to persevere in the minor leagues for a very long time. And congratulations to Andrews. No matter what, he is going to be a big league pitcher, and he's going to get his debut right here against the team that drafted him. So hard to continue to get after it as a minor leaguer, and that's what it really is. It's perseverance. How long do you want to go through it? Oftentimes guys have to move on into other careers. They might have family. They might have to get, quote, a real job, as we used to call it after baseball.
Yep. Miles Straw will stay in the game in center. Nathan Lucas has moved from center to right. Andrews pitched collegiately at Purdue and then through the Marlins, Giants, and Twins organizations before joining the Blue Jays just this year. 16 appearances at Buffalo. And now Xavier Edwards is going to be the first batter he faces. Falls behind, 2-0. Andrews did make 3 spring training appearances for the Blue Jays this year. This is high, 3-0. 3 perfect outings, actually, each one of them lasting an inning against the Yankees, Phillies, Tigers. I'm sure, though, the heart's still pumping, though. There's his first strike, 3-1. It's one thing to be at TD Ballpark in Dunedin. Even if you're facing big leaguers, it's another thing to be in a regular season game. Fly ball to center. Straw going back. Pulls up and makes the catch for out number 1.
Got him to hit it to the right part of the ballpark. Edwards hit it deep, but room for Straw.
Here's Liam Hicks, big leg kick, and then he takes ball 1. Hicks tonight, a couple of ground outs, a walk, and an infield hit. He scored twice. You may be able to hear people going, Liam Hicks. Those are buddies of his, teammates, coaches, could be classmates, teammates. He's a Toronto guy, and they are out here supporting him. Taps it back to the mound. Andrews fires it on the first 2 down. That's got to be pretty cool to grow up in the city. And, you know, he went to a junior college and then Arkansas State and then was plucked in the Rule 5 draft out of AA. He had only played 1 game here at Rogers Center before tonight. He said he was on a 16 and under, I guess, a junior national team, and they were playing the women's senior, the open national team. That was several years ago, obviously, many years ago, and that was the only time he had played here before playing tonight. So that was an exhibition game, obviously, and now he's playing in a big league game against the team that he rooted for as a kid.
And as he said today, never played in AAA.
Right.
That's what that experience last year in the big leagues was so valuable, because AA was the highest level that he played. You know, AAA is always that final level where you hone your skills before getting to the big leagues, but he went right from AA to the show.
And he's a very pleasant, personable young man. You and I had a chance to speak with him at length in Miami last year, and then talk to him again before the game today. 1-2 the count. Activity in the Marlins pen. Lefty Cade Gibson will get the bottom of the 9th. Andrews got Edwards on a deep fly ball. Got Hicks on a grounder back to the mound. And now 1-2 on Otto Lopez. Quick quick note from the out-of-town scoreboard. The Houston Astros had a team no-hitter tonight.
Did it?
Beat Texas 9-0. Tatsuya Imai went the first 6 innings. A couple of relievers finished it off as they beat Texas 9-0. They specialize in those. They had one of those in the World Series one year. Christian Javier, I think, started the game.
Managing the heck out of it, are they? Imai went 6 scoreless.
1-2 again, and that'll ride up and in. A fastball at 96. 2-2. Fastball, slider, splitters so far from Andrews. The 2-2. Ground ball to third. Up with it, Okamoto. Welcome to the big leagues, Tanner Andrews. A 3-up, 3-down, top of the 9th. Well, even on a night when you're on the wrong end of the scoreboard, I think everybody can celebrate what Tanner Andrews just did. 30 years of age, 11 years in the minors, made his major league debut tonight, had a 3-up, 3-down inning. Every guy he's high-fiving is happy for him right now.
Every guy that he's high-fiving has been in those shoes, and that's pretty special when you get that first moment as a big league player, and Tanner Andrews is now a big leaguer.
Bottom of the 9th inning, and last chance for the Blue Jays. They are down 6. Lefty Cade Gibson in for the Marlins.
He'll provide their long relief in general. Just 2 games. He was just recalled last week, and he's going to try to finish this off for Clayton McCullough.
Lenine Sosa leading it off for the Blue Jays. 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 5th. Blue Jays got that run on the 5th. Pinango drove him in, and then got a solo homer from Ernie Clement in the 6th. They do have 10 hits, but they've only scored 2 runs. They have left 9 men on base. Big breaking ball fouled off, 0-2. We will see tomorrow night if Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is back in the starting lineup. I would imagine Dalton Varsho is back in, just a day for him. They will face Sandy Alcantara, a former Cy Young Award winner, a guy with an ERA right at 4 this year. And then a day game, a 1 o'clock start, 1:07 to be exact, Wednesday before the Blue Jays head to Baltimore again. Hopefully Guerrero back in there tomorrow. The Gibson 1-2 again, and the curveball misses off the outside corner, ball 2. Now full. Springer on deck, Lucas behind him here, bottom 9. And Lenine Sosa just drew his first walk of the season, either as a member of the White Sox or the Blue Jays.
Hard to do, but Gibson pulled it off.
They know. I guess you got to find fun even in games like this. Here's Springer. George 0 for 4, 3 fly balls and a strikeout. Ball and a strike. Pulls it foul past Carlos Fabulous, and it's 1-2.
George saw a lot of those breaking balls to Sosa, maybe thinking of sitting on one of those. Came 2 fastballs to start the at-bat.
That is a big curveball right there. Springer did well not to swing at that, and it's 2-2. Lefties seem to have those crazy curveballs more than righties, as Andrews looks on his first big league appearance now in the books. And a high chopper. Lopez comes from short and fires it over to first in time to get Springer for the out. Sosa to second.
George bounced this ball right off the plate. The only play was by Lopez, the shortstop, over the pitcher's head. He gets rid of it quickly and on time.
Out by has stepped for the first down here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And now the batter is Nathan Lucas. Lucas 3 for 3, and then was hit by a pitch. Kind of in the bill of his batting helmet, and again, fortunately, okay. John Schneider, Jose Menestral came out, had a look at him, gave him some concussion testing out of the field, making sure he answered all the questions correctly and looked okay. He stayed in the game. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Other teams will line up their left-handed relievers, and this is not a leverage situation, but with the Blue Jays, and you want to keep the good bats here. We talked about that with Piñango, but they're kind of heavily left-handed at times. Other teams will run more left-handed relievers out of their pen and kind of see if the Blue Jay hitters can get to them.
And it will neutralize you because, generally speaking, across baseball, left-handed hitters just don't hit left-handed pitching as effectively.
Sanchez lifted from this game for Miles Straw a little bit earlier. Ernie Clements had another good night. 2 hits, including a homer. He has run his hitting streak to 8. But the Blue Jays have not gotten enough offense from others. A look back, and the 1-2, and that is in there. Strike 3 called, and there is a perfect example of why a lefty with a big breaking ball can be tough for a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, that's it right there. And I would say across baseball, left-handed hitters, you just don't see as many left-handed pitchers. That's generally the reason why lefties don't hit lefties as well. And that's not just through the course of a baseball season, it's your whole life from the time you're a young kid.
Looks like it's starting behind you.
Oh, yeah.
2 down, and here is Piñango. 1 for 4, an RBI single in the 5th. It's a ground ball to second, and that is going to do it. The Marlins come in here and run their winning streak to 4. When Casey had a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs, and Miami beats the Blue Jays 8-2 to hand the Blue Jays their 2nd consecutive defeat.
I don't like to use this reason, but these are the things that after a game a manager just wants to wash it and show up again tomorrow, because there are a lot of things that you could go over that need to be better. This is that not good play that we've seen at times from the Blue Jays. It's another one here tonight from John Schneider's club.
Yeah, the defense cost him, and again left a lot of men on base in key spots. 2 of the reasons why they are on the wrong end of this one. An 8-2 win for the Marlins here in the opener. We're back with you tomorrow night for the middle game of this series. But right now, time for Sportsnet Central presented by KFC with Ken and Ivanka.